And if you follow me, you know that's what I'm going back to. Do your damn rabbit holes. Do whatever you do, man. But don't do it so much that the fact that human lives were taken here and human lives are still here and affected and broken by this. Don't lose sight of that. Don't let that be 20% of your content rabbit hole creation. Don't let that be 20% of your, oh man, let me see what's going on. Let me share this video. Let me say, do you remember, like, can we say some names here? Ethan, Zaina, Maddie, Kaylee, all of these cases. Can we say names? They have parents, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have cousins, they have friends that went to school with them. Haven't I done this in the video before? You ever lost someone? You still got their text in your phone? Did you say the voicemails, emails? Clothing items, anything? That's why I don't be want to make videos, bro, because it's going back to how Bryan is my twin. We're so different than the world. We gotta be quiet around y'all, because when we expose our thoughts and tell y'all how we really feel, you're gonna be offended, because 9 times out of 10, we're gonna cut. Innocent until life is funny, man. When I made this video, man, I was, you know what I'm saying, feeling good. I actually started the video saying I'm not as downcast as I sound, because I wasn't. It was true. And ironically, man, now I'm sick, man. I got like a head cold or something. Don't feel sorry for me. Say a prayer for me. It's part of life. But I'm definitely, man, I got a head cold. And I came out today, man, just to finish this video and get it out to you guys, because I haven't been making any content. But I'm saying that because I was listening to it back and I mentioned, you know, germs and the things that I do to not, you know what I mean, cross-contaminate and share germs in life. And then I had some business to handle last week. And doing that, I was shaking hands and things that I don't do in my normal course of action in our life. I just fist bump and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's how I got sick, but it's just funny. I was listening to that back. And also one more thing, I was on Twitter before I, you know what I mean, edited this video, and I didn't realize that was actually so much drama out there now, because I've been just out of the way because there's nothing going on in the case, man. And you know, I'm just about to start pumping out other content, Lord willing. You know how I feel. But once I, you know, just took a peek back in, all of the gossiping and arguing going on around Howard Bloom or whatever, buddy, man, I don't know anything about him, so I'm not saying anything negative. But you know, and this and that and this and that, guys. And I made a post about it, but I took it down because I'm trying to learn and mature myself. But I just want to remind y'all, guys, we're not teenagers. You know, this is not middle school, man. Like, we can have different opinions and we can approach things, man, without acting like we're still preteens. It scares me when I see things like that, because I'm realizing, like, the adults that I'm looking at and watching, and I'm no better than anybody else. But it's like, these are the people who are teaching our kids how to think and how to navigate life. And if this is how you behave, especially just because someone disagrees with you or because you get information you don't necessarily care for, if this is how you behave, what could you possibly be teaching your children? And I'm just going to be honest without you, with no self-righteousness and no high-mindedness, or even condescension, man. It's just a scary thought, man. So those are two things that stuck out to me. And I just wanted to put that in here before we get to the video. But now that I've said all of that and extended the video even more, I miss y'all, man. Let's get to the video. Innocent until, man, what's going on? I'm out here in these streets. I did say streets, not streets. I'm not as downcast as I may have sounded, man. I'm more so in a thoughtful mood. I was just listening to The Lawyer Who Knows. I've already recorded this video, man. I made notes on it. If you pay attention to the community tab on YouTube, you will see that I said, you know, I was supposed to drop a video last Thursday. Today is Monday. I got a lot of thoughts, man, and I'm going to be honest with you. They're going to be jumbled. So let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. This is not only the video about nothing or slash what ifs. This is, to me at this point, still the case about nothing or slash what ifs. You know what I mean? It's 4:13 Monday, 83 degrees in Miami. The sun is not out. It's kind of downcast, kind of cool here. And I pray everything is well where you are. Before I forget it, one thing that the lawyer mentioned, man, was, you know, the 48, the Lawyer Who Knows, he was reviewing the 48 hours webisode, documentary, whatever you're going to call that I did not watch. And now I'm thinking maybe I should have watched it. So I could have, recapped that or whatever, but I didn't. But I'm going to recap some of his recap of it. He mentioned that the family, I don't remember him saying which family, but one of the family and or families are considering that they think Bryan may have had a kill kit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That is something that I did not take into consideration, have not taken into consideration up until this point, and it is very possible. And I'm just saying this in reference to how do we get this crime scene with no blood outside of the house, which I don't hear enough people saying. And I hear, people saying, we didn't find any blood on him. We didn't find any blood in his car, et cetera, et cetera. I don't hear enough people for my liking saying there was not even a drop of blood found outside of the house. I want to reiterate something else too, and maybe this will be answered by the gag order. Did we ever see law enforcement even searching for anything? And I'm specifically thinking about the murder weapon or any evidence tied to the crime outside of the house, because up until this point, I haven't. Now, if you follow me, I don't chase every rabbit hole tossed out there in this case, so it's very possible I just overlooked it, but that is a question I have. Did we see law enforcement searching for any evidence outside of this house? I, to my knowledge, did not. So this kill kit thing, man, could Bryan very possibly have had, some type of kill kit, which consisted of a full body cover suit, which he took off and then maybe put in a trash bag before he stepped outside, and then got into his vehicle. Now, let me tell you something, guys. We cannot be the Bryanators. You've heard me say this a million times, man. We have to be honest about this case as well. And if Bryan is guilty, or the evidence we know about, or new evidence points to his guilt, we have to discuss and consider that as well. I tell y'all over and over again, damn it, sometimes I feel like Bryan is my twin. I live in a world full of y'all people, right? I just left somewhere. I ain't telling y'all my damn business. I'm going back to the coffee shop. I got to figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner. But when I'm in the coffee shop, I watch humans, man. That's what I do. Now, I'm not sitting there stalking them, because I'm also in there handling business, working, tending to the things that I need to tend to. But I do get a view of humanity, and the coffee shop is not just, it's Panera Bread. If you know Panera Bread, you know it's not just a coffee shop. It's also an eatery. And I'm not exaggerating at all when I tell you guys, 99%, I'm not exaggerating at all, of people come into Panera Bread, order their food, and they never think about going to the bathroom to wash their hands. Whatever they've been doing prior to coming to Panera Bread, ordering food to eat, touch with their hands and put in their mouth, it doesn't cross their minds that it might be okay for them to wash their hands before they do that. And if you just think about all of the things that you're involved in your day-to-day activities, I'm pretty sure even if you are one of those people who eat without washing your hands, you would consider, now hearing me say this, I might need to wash my hands before I eat, whether you're going to do it or not. You're coming into contact with not only the things that you're touching, but here's somebody else about to back into me and hit me. These people in Florida can't drive if you drove for them. But you're not only coming into contact with all of the things that you're touching that are unsanitary, you're also cross-contaminating, because you're touching all of the things that other people are touching who aren't washing their hands. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't do that. I'm in the minority people, man. I wash my hands before I eat. When I go to take my trash out, man, I have a strategy, man. I have a system where I never touch the trash can. I lift the bag up with the trash bag. I lift the trash can top up with the bag that I'm holding, and then I flip it in there. It's a technique. I've been doing these things my entire life. Lady, watch where you're going. When I open doors, if I don't use a napkin or something, guys, I know how to open the door with my hands, in the sense that I'm not really even touching the door. Same thing with gas pumps. I can just tell you these things over and over again. Where am I going with this? It is not beyond me that Bryan could have committed 4 murders, or anyone could have committed 4 murders and stopped, because I know how easy, I say, hey man, go dump your trash and don't touch the trash can top. The average person who doesn't live like I live might not be able to do it. Very possibly and probably wouldn't be able to do it with the ease that I do, along with other activities that I accomplish and people like me accomplish in life. It's almost like being handicapped and you learn to live without a particular limb. And knowing that is not at all, I could do that. I could commit 4 murders. Now watch this, I'm going somewhere with this. I commit 4 murders and get out of that house without having a drop of blood anywhere on me, Or, and when I say on me, I mean if I got an all over bodysuit that I'm gonna take off, when I take that bodysuit off, I won't have any evidence of the crime on me, and then I definitely won't have any in my vehicle or anything like that. I'm already telling you how I'm gonna do it for those who don't know it. I hate to even use this scenario, but I have to show you what I'm talking about. I would have on the full bodysuit, guys, which I have worn in my previous employment before years ago. I detailed this in the video. I know what some of those suits look like. Some of them you can rip if you breathe on them. Some of them you couldn't rip if you had Mike Tyson or Hulk Hogan trying to tear them with his hands. But some of them you can zip up, they button up. It's all types of them out there. Some of them I'm pretty sure I haven't even seen before. But they're made to wear, cover your full body protective gear, and then they come off easy, and some of them not so easy, but they come off. I would take it out. I would have me a trash bag. I would double bag the trash bag. I'm not just going for one. And since I'm killing people, God forbid, I hate this example, but since I'm killing people, I'm probably going to have 3 or 4 trash bags. I'm going to stick that in there. I got gloves on, and not just regular gloves. I got gloves that come all the way up my arm. So then that doesn't get on me, it doesn't splash back on my arms. Then I take the bodysuit off. I'm still in the house. I stuff it inside the trash bags, and then you reach inside of the gloves, guys. You do not touch the gloves on the outside. You go to the top, you reach inside of them, and then you peel them off. And you stuff all of that in the trash bag. You tie the trash bags up, and then you go. There's no blood. There's no nothing. I could literally take the bag, and I wouldn't do this, and shake it around in my car or outside, and nothing is coming off. I don't care how much was on the bodysuit that I had on. It's possible. That's what I'm saying. But damn it, I gotta be realistic, man. Let's rewind and talk about what the hell I'm talking about here. I just killed 4 people. I told you how that has to happen because I live life like that. Like, I literally live life like that. I can give you 1,000 examples where I operate like that because I don't want to touch things and I don't want to cross-contaminate germs or bring them from here to there. I live life like that. But damn it, if I kill one damn person, I ain't standing around to do all that. Are you high? Are you high, man? I'm not saying that he didn't or he couldn't have. I'm just talking about the possibility versus the probability. I'm not standing around to do all that after I kill somebody. It got to be a better scheme. Because for that to come off the way that I just said it, and maybe Bryan is more of a germaphobe than I am, bro, that's not something that you can do real quick now. I say I live like that, but these activities do extend. Where I do it how I do it, and the other people do it how they do it, it's going to take me longer to accomplish what's going on if we're doing the same activity than it's going to take them. And I ain't stopping in the middle committing no crime, especially murder, especially quadruple murder, to do all of that. So now, once again, I want to be clear. Maybe it happened like that and he did have a kill kit. You just got to explain to me what the hell it looked like and how it played out. You can't just say that to me. Because we're talking about murdering a man here. We're accusing him of a quadruple murder. And we're talking about murdering him to pay the consequences for it. I just had to get that out there because I heard the lawyer that knows talk about the families thinking that maybe a kill kit was involved. And if you watched the 48 hours situation, you probably already knew that before I did. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that, about Bryan or whoever committed this crime possibly having a kill kit? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it. I can't rule it out because I wasn't there, but I don't see it, man. Now that that's out of the way, the lawyer that knows, because this is my go-to guy when I want to get the legalese of the case. And one thing he did say in this video, he said, hey man, we hadn't talked about this case in a while and I just want to touch up on it and see how you guys feel about it. Now the video has like 180,000 views and I watch him. He usually gets between 40 and 60 or something like that. So people obviously wanted to hear what he had to say. But he was scaring me a few times because it's very easy to get swayed to one side of an opinion about anything, this case included. And if you know me, you know I'm a facts person. And even when I get swayed too far and I catch myself, I immediately try to clear it up, and I invite you guys to do it all of the time. I don't want to get swayed too far away from the facts for either side of this case. And he was saying different things that, I was like, hold up, bro. And all of the things that he was saying, it was leaning toward Bryan being guilty. Now, he cleared it up. But he was a little too close to the edge for me sometimes, even though he cleared it up. I am hypercritical, so I want to tone that down a little bit, but I just had to throw that out there when I was listening to him. Other than that, guys, I watch Court TV do a segment about the social media and shopping websites, you know, the Amazons, the music websites, the Spotify, and I watched Law and Crime do a segment about it too, man. And this is where I get the title and the idea of the case about nothing, the case about what ifs, man, because there is nothing there. Who was it? Law and Crime? Yeah, Law and Crime. They replayed clips of people who quote unquote know Bryan that gave renditions of the type of character he had. Now, we all know where that's going. We all know there has been a concerted effort to make sure you don't broadcast and or interview. And if you do interview, definitely not broadcast anybody saying anything positive about Bryan. So one of the people said, and you guys already know this stuff because you follow the case way more closely than I am. One of the guys said Bryan was quiet and he was calculated. I wish I had my notes so I could tell you exactly what he said. And then somebody else said he was angry. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I've been spending a lot of time on my other platform where I tell you guys I deal with gender issues. And I can tell you this from my damn personal life. It doesn't matter what you do as a man. Once someone accuses you, specifically a woman, well, your ass is dead ass wrong. I've been in damn relationships where I was literally told by a woman, multiple. This happened to me at least twice now. Shade to one of them, no shade to the other one. I just don't understand how the hell y'all think. I'm the type of person, when I get upset, I get quiet. I don't lash out. I'm not physically abusive. Hell, I'm not even verbally abusive till you set me off. Then I'm going to cuss your ass out. And I'm going to watch to see how you feel about it because I gave you multiple opportunities to leave me the hell alone. But when I get upset, the more upset I get, the more thoughtful I get, the more quiet I get. I'll mess around, and if you just piss me off, this is where the relationships come. I won't talk to your ass for a month straight. But to get me to that point, I'm very articulate. I talk a lot. I would say, hey, baby, let's talk about this. Hey, baby, is this bothering you? Hey, baby, this is bothering me. And I say it in the most respect. The type of person I am in real life is the type of person that you hear in these videos, and you see the ebbs and the flows, the ups and the downs. You get what you give, or you get what you trigger, or you get what I have available in the moment. And since I'm very human, that definitely varies. So once I've gone through all of the motions and used every tool I have to calm the situation down, but you keep pressing my buttons, it's like poking me in my face. I don't see gender anymore. I don't see man, woman, or child anymore. I see a person who's been very disrespectful and trying to incite me after I've damn near begged you to leave me the hell alone. But once again, I'm not the type of person that's going to lash out and be verbally abusive or physically abusive. Once we get physical, it's a whole nother, that's not even in my playbook, because once that gets into the playbook, we're in a whole nother realm. But it's not even shutting down for me. I don't want to knock your head off your shoulder, so the best thing for me to do in this situation is just to be the hell quiet. Because you don't seem to be on the same page as me as us coming to a complementary resolution for everyone involved. And the women would tell me, I'm going somewhere with this, you're abusing me because you're not talking to me. So I'm abusing you because your ass want to argue and your ass want to cause all this trauma and drama, and I refuse to feed into it or trigger you more or allow you to trigger me. And I've literally been in 2 relationships where women have called me abusive because I won't argue with them, because I won't talk to them after we've tried to work everything out and nothing is being worked out. So I just step away and I remain in my own zone silent. I'm saying that to say, when I'm listening to these people talk about Bryan, it's the same situation. It is the case about nothing. Everything that y'all say about this man, you're saying it to draw a particular preconceived conclusion about him. What if he was silent and thoughtful? How in the hell, and reserved, how the hell does that contribute to him being the type? You know how many silent and thoughtful and reserved people I've met in life? Because if he was loud and obnoxious and angry, y'all would turn around and say that about him. They say he has no friends. Are you high? Man, y'all gotta be high. You see, I started to call y'all Negroes again, but not, you know what I'm saying? Not the heavy E, or I don't do that, the AG. Yeah, because y'all just be talking crazy, man. You would literally say the same thing about me. I think Bryan is my twin. I don't not have friends, Negro. Look at my YouTube comments. I don't know what the hell wrong with y'all. Sometimes I think y'all high. But these people got love for me, bro. These people have a love for me. And what ends up, these are straight, you guys who listening to this video right now, some of you, you know who you are. And it's a lot of y'all. Y'all just met me on YouTube. And I don't tone down who I am. This is who I am in real life. But what you will get is, you will get a segment of people who have violated their right to be in my presence, who respectfully just can't get in my presence anymore, or never have been able to get in my presence because of the type of people they are. And now they don't have anything but negative things to say when they tell a story about me. Who gives a damn? Everybody got people that talk about them like that. It does not make you a quadruple murderer. So for people to get up, I don't think when you say, well, Bryan was quiet and reserved, or sometimes he appeared to be angry, or he doesn't have any friends. So in my mind, he was always the type of person that would do something like this. This doesn't make me look at Bryan like he's crazy or murderer. It makes me look at you like you're vindictive. What the hell happened to you that you can't deal with the hurt feelings you have in a mature way without accusing somebody of being a murderer because they don't click with you and you don't click with them? You're not going to click with everybody. It doesn't mean that this person is going to be a murderer down the road. This is the case about nothing, the case about what ifs. When are we going to get this evidence that from day one, every Bryanator has been promising is coming at every stage of this case, and we're almost a year into it, and we still have only BS? Now, listen, I'm not an anti-Bryanator in the sense that I'm just on the team of there's no way he's guilty. He's absolutely innocent. I still don't know. Some very real and very honest questions out there, and very fair questions to be asking about some of his activities, the phone being shut on, the phone being shut off, you being in the area. None of that makes him a murderer. I've said this several times. If they had video of him standing in the front yard while these crimes were committed, I would still, because I'm a factual person, and I know factually that doesn't mean he's a murderer, because somebody else could have been in the house doing it and he had no idea about it or anything to do with it. I would not say that means he's a murderer. But damn it, I would say, bro, that means there's some fair questions that, it makes sense for us to ask you. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Some of his activities raise fair questions for us to ask him, but that doesn't make him a murderer. So I'm in the middle with it still, guys. The Amazon, the Spotify, Court TV, Law and Crime, one of them is saying, hey man, there's been no clear indication, and the lawyer that knows said this too. He said some of the information that is being broadcast to the public about these search warrants hasn't been verified, or he hasn't seen any verification. Neither have I, guys. But I'm hearing it's verified that these search warrants were for Bryan's accounts. And then over here I'm hearing we don't know who the search warrants were for. We just know that they were for these particular entities, Spotify, Amazon, etc., etc. Which is true. And people are acting like this is a big deal. Why did this just happen? Are the authorities derelict and they behind on the case? Well, actually, I think this happened in July, and then this guest that they had on Law and Crime, it might have been Court TV. I keep getting confused. He was a doctor. He was a professor. He works in the evidentiary department, air quotes expert. You know how I feel about that. Everyone who claims to be an expert isn't an expert. We have Nancy Disgrace and Coffee After Dark to exhibit that for us, guys. I'm going somewhere and I'm just rambling. I'm just rambling because there's nothing new to talk about. Besides maybe this book that came out, and I think we're talking about maybe Zaina's father said something. It was somebody's father that I was initially thinking was Steve G, when I kept hearing y'all say they're talking about a father in the book. But then you guys corrected me, shout out to Casey, and said, it was Zaina's father. I might be wrong saying Zaina, but it definitely wasn't Steve G. So it was someone else. So maybe there's some information there. You guys can, I'm begging you, send me a cash app. I'll buy you a cup of coffee or something to tell me what this book is about. Is it saying anything substantial? Or is it saying things that are absolutely nothing? Or is it saying things that agree with what you've already concluded so you think it's something? Can you guys update me on this book? But they're looking at his Spotify account. I mean, you know how much this put yourself in a human, realm? You know how many different doors have to be open and treasure troves has to be unlocked to try to get to the bottom of this case, no matter which side you're approaching it from, the prosecution or the defenses. It's kind of, for me, man, I'm sitting back and I'm watching it and I'm like, I get it that people, we're involved in this, and then the creators, you want to keep making content. But if I could just be straightforward, blunt, man, and God forgive me, it's a lot of bullshit, guys. Because what I see in the rabbit holes that content creators are willing to throw out there for us to dive down, what I see, and it just pisses me off, I see a lack of compassion for the humanity of the situation. And if you follow me, that's what I'm going back to. Do your damn rabbit holes. Do whatever you do, man, but don't do it so much that the fact that human lives were taken here and human lives are still here and affected and broken by this. Don't lose sight of that. Don't let that be 20% of your content rabbit hole creation. Don't let that be 20% of your, oh man, let me see what's going on. Let me share this video. Let me say, do you remember, can we say some names here? Ethan, Zaina, Maddie, Kaylee. All of these cases, can we say names? They have parents, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have cousins, they have friends that went to school with them. Haven't I done this in the video before? You ever lost someone? You still got their text in your phone? Did you say the voicemails, emails, clothing items, anything? That's why I don't be wanting to make videos, bro, because it's going back to how Bryan is my twin. We're so different than the world. We gotta be quiet around y'all, because when we expose our thoughts and tell y'all how we really feel, you're gonna be offended, because 9 times out of 10, we're gonna cuss y'all ass out. Or tell you that we think stuff y'all got going on is not, you need to tighten up, wash your damn hands before you eat. I just seen you digging in your damn nose. I just seen the woman who came and sat at that table or opened that door before you digging in her damn nose, and then you came and grabbed it behind her, then you grabbed your sandwich and put it in your mouth. All that's filthy. So let me be quiet, because you don't want to hear the truth. You want to live in this lollipop-ass world where everything is just appropriate, like the Nancy Graces. And all we do in that world is we pick out the people we want to pick on, like Bryan. We label them what we want to label them, and then we just dogpile on them. Man, if I tell you I don't live in that world, now I sound self-righteous. I'm not self-righteous. I got my own troubles in my own world. I guarantee you there are a million things you could probably factually accuse Bryan of if he isn't guilty of this crime. And even if he is, set the crime aside. We're not setting this crime aside for lives were lost. But set the crime aside. I guarantee you there are things that you could factually accuse him of. You ain't got to make up nothing. You ain't got to dogpile nobody. And I damn sure know if half of us looked at ourselves the way we look at other people, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be happening. That's where my mind be at. I'm over here trying to find me a girl I can live the rest of my life with, man. I'm driving back and forth from Miami to Savannah, enjoying life, listening to music, having a few sips of something nice with my homeboy. I'm living life, man. It comes with enough frustrations, man. I don't want to unnecessarily add more to it, especially when we're talking about the frustration and the pain and the heartbreak of losing someone that you love, especially in such horrific ways as happening in this case and other cases, man. I don't see a damn thing going on, and I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of rabbit holes for you guys in this video. My rabbit hole is just remember that we're talking about humans, man. And let's talk about them and think about them and reason about them and conclude about them the way that we would want people to do had it been our loved ones or us ourselves. Did I miss any damn thing? How many? I got 23 minutes. It's a pretty short video. I've been going 40 and 50 these last couple of videos. I did miss y'all. Let me say that. I promise y'all I did. But damn it, let's just remember the humanity of it, man. What else were they talking about? The DNA evidence. Shout out to that young man who Anjanette Levy had on. So whatever channel it is, I think it's Law and Crime. Anjanette Levy had this evidentiary expert professor on there. I'm going to throw the air quotes in there. The man was very, very articulate to me. I was actually pleased to hear from this gentleman. Because when she began to open up the segment, it was about 6 or 7 minutes long, if I remember correctly, and she asked him about the crime, the first thing the man said out of his mouth was, hey, I want to be clear. I'm only reading tea leaves here. I don't know what happened any more than you guys do. The lawyer that knows, man, even though, like I said, he had me worried a few times there, but he cleaned it up. He said, I want to be clear. None of us know what happened here, man. I feel for the families who are talking to these people who've done their own investigations. I don't mind them doing that. Hell, I've heard of cases where family members and friends doing investigations were actually the reason that the cases were solved. I've also heard of cases where family members and friends doing their own investigations were the reason the case went all the way to the left, awry, or awry. Which one of those words? Pick one. And, that means I'm right either way. But we're just human, so, they're responding how they're responding, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then they're getting the evidence that they got, and they're taking it how they want to take it. But you can even hear when you hear them talk, they don't even believe themselves sometimes. They're contradicting themselves sometimes, and that doesn't make them evil. That makes them humans trying to make sense of this horrific thing that happened here. But back to the professor, he said, man, I'm reading tea leaves. And then he began to speak about all the facts of the case. Yes, that was DNA on the sheath. Yes, we're being told it was Bryan DNA. Yes, that doesn't mean that he put it there that he committed these crimes. Yes, it could mean that he put it there and he did commit these crimes. Is DNA evidence good in cases? There have been times when DNA evidence was perfect, but there's been times when DNA evidence was transferred or planted, and it was horrible because it didn't tell the story that it was put there to tell. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It didn't tell the truth. It told the story that it was put there to tell. So it was horrible. There are a lot of things going on here, guys, and a lot of angles, and I'm not going to ramble too much further here. I would just remind you guys that at this time, I think in many ways, the gag order is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. What I will tell you is that I think it's BS that the Bryan natives keep saying, hey, we're going to get more evidence. We're going to get, where the hell is it going to come from? The only thing I can say is surprise witnesses or something. We seen the contents of the search warrant. I mean, they searched his stuff. We seen the contents of the search warrant. They're leaking everything I'm about to say, guys. I've said in several videos, not just one, several. They are leaking every damn thing to their media friends that they can to try to go ahead and paint a public perception of what should be done and what should be thought about this case. You think if they had some concrete damn evidence that they wouldn't leak that too? I'm a little concerned because something the lawyer that knows said, he mentioned this, and I think it's true. When they keep doing these webisodes, documentaries, whatever you want to call them, they're painting a particular picture about Bryan. I mentioned this before, and then Ann Taylor came out just hitting grand slams everywhere when it looked like they weren't doing enough to paint a picture themselves of Bryan to the public, who the jury pool will be chosen from. These things are making Bryan look bad, but while I'm not as worried as I was in the past when they were doing that and Ann was being silent, they're throwing little, you play softball and then, the ball is thrown underhanded to the batter and, it's a little slower, it's a little easier to hit. That's what they're doing. They're just shooting in the dark. I'm just trying to tell you right now, I'm giving an honest assessment of what I think the prosecution is doing. They're shooting in the dark. They don't have as much as they would like to have. Someone said that, hey man, they thought they would serve the search warrants and then the case would just open up for them and be given to them. And that hasn't happened, and that is just shooting in the dark and panicking. I think that's an accurate assessment of what's going on. But Ann Taylor, when she goes to the mound, it's fastballs, it's curveball. I mean, it ain't really gonna be easy for you to hit these. While she's knocking your underhanded pitches out of the park every damn time she's up the bat, what the pitches she's throwing is not as easy for you guys to hit. So I'm not worried. I'm pretty sure Ann Taylor and her, that to me is the definition of not an expert. She's as close as we're gonna see in her profession. So I'm pretty sure she's strategizing behind the scenes, guys. Behind the scenes. So I'm not as worried about that. The gag order, man, I'm pretty sure there are some things that we're not getting. I just don't think it's the bombshell evidence that the Bryan natives want us to believe. I think, like I said, what do you think, guys? What do you think the gag order is preventing us from knowing in this case right now? I just don't really think, that it's much. Bryan's hearing, I think it's for the 26th, and that's about just tossing the whole indictment, if I remember correctly. I don't remember if it's about cameras in the courtroom. The irony now, they're talking about witness tampering in the Y&W Melly case, and I did get a little more information on that if you guys are tuned into that at all. But the irony is that witness tampering doesn't even begin to measure up with FBI agents showing up to a witness's house after she testified and revealed some provocative things about law enforcement officers. But over here, you're talking about witness tampering and everybody's in the uproar. Go figure, man. It's the American justice system, man. There are some more things I want to say. I might, when I'm editing this video, toss some more things on the end. I did want to ask this question again before I get out of here. What do you think the gag order is preventing us from knowing about this case? And where, let's be honest here. I know on this channel, guys, more people believe Bryan is not guilty than do. You know what I mean? If you just believe he's absolutely innocent or you don't know right now, that's perfectly fine. I'm a fan. I'm an advocate of your opinion. I don't do amen corners. You ain't got to agree with me. You can get in comments and tell me you think I lost my damn mind, respectfully, because sometimes I will admit to that. But honestly, guys, right now, based on what we know, which is not much more than we knew 6 months ago, damn near a year ago, would you be able to find Bryan guilty or not guilty right now? I know it's a redundant question, but isn't all of this information? And also, would you be able to agree to send him to a firing squad right now? Innocent until, man, I pray everything is well for you guys out there. I damn sure took that 23 minutes and turned it to 30. Y'all be safe, man. Holla. I know the rumors abound. I'll be back when there's really something to talk about, man. I'm not finna try to capitalize off of these people's pain like that. Rest in peace.